Welcome back to Carpathian Countryside for episode 30 with me, MrSealyp. It's 1:37, October 1, here on Carpathian Countryside. I've still got grapes to harvest, olives to harvest. We're going to do it, people. We're going to do an olive harvest, but not on vines on the trees with the shaker, which I've never done before. I've been asked a question again, or it was mentioned again in comments on the last episode, that there's no way realistically I could have done all those harvests in half a day. And I'll go back to what I previously said. I'm running 2-day months, so each day represents half the month. Half a day represents a week. That's the best way of looking at it. I broke it into hours last time and that kind of stuff when I talked about it. So if you think about it, it's 1:38 now. We finished about 12 something. So technically the 2 corn harvests, the sunflower harvest and my field took a week to do, which is much more realistic. It may take longer in real life, but with 3 harvesters running. And talking of 3 harvesters, we've got the soybean harvest on field 9 to do. With our 3 harvesters, I have taken the liberty, that's why the money has dropped quite a bit from when we purchased our 3rd harvester in the last episode. I bought this header. Now this is the Titan Draper, but it's not the Titan Draper Unreal. This is the standard Titan Draper. It just gives you the ability to do configurations on the colour. Now it's a 13.5 metre. I'm not sure how the harvester is going to deal with it, because the other 2 I've got, I mentioned in the last episode, these are the Power Stream headers that come with the Rosselmash Torums. So I'm going to get these going in the field. Then I've already leased, although it's nothing as well, field 19, you know, I said at the end of the last episode that because I'd had to fail it because they wouldn't complete, field 19 came back up again for corn harvest. So I thought just my own, I'd want to see if it will complete. And I did it again and it did. I don't know why, but it did complete. It might have been because I was running 2 at the same time, but I've done that before. I've done 2 contracts of the same crop type to the same sell point before and I haven't had a problem. So anyway, I don't know, but it did complete. So over at the store we have got a trailed grape harvester rather than self-propelled. I've leased an Antonio Carrero, I can't remember which one I've got now, one with the rear tracks, and I have leased the olive tree shaker. It required a front loader attacher. So I've got on my Deutz-Fahr, I've reconfigured that with a front loader. I've leased a front loader attacher. So once I get this going on here, we're going to whiz over. I think we'll do olives first, because olives is the thing let's say I haven't done. And then I have no idea if it's going to work. I have no idea how many we're going to get. I honestly, at this point in time, anything seems like a bonus. If it works, brilliantly, because like I said way back, I was really concerned about how it had all gone, and because I grassed around the base of the trees, I wasn't sure if it was going to work. That said, they are all showing ready to harvest, so fingers crossed, I guess. I'm going to split the field in 2 to start with. Run this. This is going to hit the telegraph pole, the pylons, and get that one going. The only downside I've got, again, because of, I mean, to be fair, the headers on these aren't as big as the corn headers I leased in the last episode, so we should be okay. Is going to be trying to keep these running and unloaded. What time is it now? 1:42. I'm just curious to see how long it's going to take. It's going to take a bit longer than it could do. If I was just focused on this soybean harvest, then I could just focus on unloading them and keeping them running. But obviously if I'm going to be up doing olives as well, if I get messages come up saying we've got full grain carts and that kind of stuff, maybe there might be a little bit of a delay here and there, but not the end of the world. So the big test is going to be whether or not that bigger header works. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the headlands with that, go around the outside while these are running. Although this one's got another They may turn back straight away, and I'll just mop up the edges. That's not a problem. Look at that one running. I've got my lorry and trailer just here in the gateway, so we can whiz out whenever we need to. I'm just hoping October we don't lose the light too quickly. So the olives and this is the priority. The grapes I can always... Actually, can I roll the grapes over to tomorrow? I think I can. October 2, I can. I could roll the grapes over and do them tomorrow if I had to. I definitely want to start with the olives, and then the grapes. I was curious to use the trailed grape harvester as well. I haven't done that before, so a couple of bits of equipment I've never used. Fold that up. Don't seem too bad. We'll see how we go with harvesting, but is the reel a bit low? Maybe out a little bit. Not that it makes any difference, but oh, hang on a minute. Oh, did I read that wrong? Have I read... Oh no, that's going to really skew things, isn't it? That's not good. Headers. Where's the Titan headers? Titan header. Oh, it runs at 10, not 6. Because the Unreal runs at 43. I didn't even look, I just assumed it would run at the normal speed. Oh, I've leased it now, it's not... It's just, that's going to skew things ever so slightly, isn't it? Because that's going to run, yeah, that's running way quicker. Oh, never mind, we'll get it done anyway. It's not running at 43 miles an hour, I guess, so... I guess when you think about it, the Helianthus header I used in the last episode was running at 9, so it's only 1 mile an hour more than that. Misjudged that completely. Is that what was heading back or not? Because we've got to send this... I thought it hasn't gone to the railway line. Probably been hit by a train that's halfway down the map by now. Oh, it might be turning back the other way. Excellent stuff. Well, yeah, another busy one. The other thing as well is olives. I've done grapes more than I've done olives. I'm trying to think if I've actually done olives on the vine on any Let's Play. I don't know what they're going to yield at all. I did spray them. I thought I sprayed them. I think I did mulch them. Again, we're just going to have to wait and see, really. Certainly going to be a curious one. And obviously on this, will this harvest complete? Who knows at this point? It's all ifs, buts and maybes. We shall see. MrSealyp is away this weekend. She's with her aunt and her cousin. Her cousin is getting married next year. And they're looking at the wedding venue and something else this weekend, so she's away for the weekend. So there won't be, unfortunately, I was hoping over the weekend we'd get a couple more Bally Spring episodes in, but she's not here. She's cleared off and left me with the kids. I say the kids, I don't know what to say that, they're adults, but with the kids. So, yeah, and Farm Dog, who's miserable. If ever she has to go away with work, or she goes away sometimes up to Lake District to see her aunt, oh man, does he mope. Doesn't matter what I do with him, I can take him out, I can do, mope, get back and he mopes. Especially if I'm working, if I come and sit here on my desk and start recording, as soon as I do that, he huffs, and literally he huffs and puffs. he'll flomp down on the floor, he gets all stroppy, and then after about 10-15 minutes of me being at my desk, he'll go upstairs. If my daughters are still in bed, they haven't got up yet, or if they're upstairs working, because a couple of my daughters sometimes work from home a couple of days a week, he'll go up and pester them because he just gets bored. And I understand, I totally get it. I did think about going on to Valley Spring actually, and maybe doing something on there to surprise MrSealyp for the next episode we do. But I don't want to I don't want to confuse people if there's an episode that should be a co-op episode and it's not. I'm not going to explain that at the start of the episode. The other thing as well, I know because we decided to go from Purbeck, and a couple of people messaged me to say where are the first 3 episodes, the first 2 episodes. I can't remember what we're on. There was 3, was it? Where are the first episodes from Valley Spring? And I said, sorry, they're not. They're on Purbeck because we switched. So yeah, again, apologies. I suppose what I should have done, I'm sure I said at the start, but I might not have done. I know I did on the 3rd episode of Purbeck, but I suppose if you didn't watch Purbeck and you've only just jumped onto Valley Spring, it might not make any sense. So what I might do is put a link on that episode to the Purbeck series to make sense, or in the next episode I'll talk about it. I think that's probably the best thing to do. Next episode we'll talk about the fact that if you haven't seen the first couple, they're on Purbeck. That would be easier, wouldn't it, I guess, right? And also, who was it messaging me this morning? I got a message this morning. Oh yeah, that's it as well. I've got some problem. I haven't done my monthly shout outs, have I? Who was it from? I had a message this morning. Social media. Oh, from Joshua. Joshua said to me, are you aware that 2 of your Carpathian Countryside episodes aren't showing in the playlist? 24 and 25 weren't in there, and when I went in to check, they weren't. One of them I'd put in as a first look map tour. I don't know how I'd managed to do that. One I hadn't allocated a playlist to at all, and episode 18 was missing as well. Again, sorry for that. I do apologise. If you've been following through and just follow through the playlist, they have now been put in. That has been rectified. Right, we are cut in now. The other 2 harvesters are also full. What I've done to give us a fairer representation, I've knocked down the cruise control on that harvester with the Titan header to 6, the same as the others. So all 3 harvesters will be running at 6 miles an hour. So I just wanted to get a more kind of, just a fairer view of how long it will take with these 3 harvesters on this field with these headers compared to the 4 smaller harvesters I had before. I mean, potentially it's still going to take an hour and a half, something like that. Just trying to think, maybe, I don't know. So once this one's done with this middle strip, that one's just doing the outside strip. That outside one will do that strip there. This one will do that strip going that way, and the other harvester will do that strip coming this way. I have a plan. I'm up at the store, and here's our gear. Antonio Carrero, what was it? Oh, the Mach 2R, that's right. With the rear tracks, so I've released that. I've got front 3-point, I'm not quite sure why, and that's the trailed harvester. Like I say, never used it. We'll give it a go. Front loader I've put onto the Deutz. I put some care wheels on the Deutz because I was just worried about it being too wide because it had quite wide wheels in it. And that's our olive shaker. Again, haven't used one before. Judging by the pictures, that fans out. That's your trough for catching, and that's just like a big, like an upturned umbrella. It shakes, everything falls into there, into the tray. Let's see. I'm going to grab a couple of trailers on the way through. 11,500 each, so, or 11.2, whatever it was. I can't remember what it was now. And or no, it might even be 11.1. And we'll see what happens. I honestly have absolutely no idea what's going to go. Oh no, I've just realised what I need as well. Oh, Oh no! It's more expensive, isn't it? I need a barrel of hydraulic oil, I think it is. Blimey, 2,361 for 180 litres. I hope this yields well. This is costing me a fortune. I guess if you were doing entire fields of the stuff, or you've got, yeah, I don't know. I don't know how quickly it's going to get through this either, so I'm assuming I can't pick this barrel up, because if I can always... Oh, I can. Will it sit in that? Can I take it out with me to the field? Will it sit in that little trough? Oh, it will! Ha ha ha! Right, let's take it out with us. And that way, if I do need to refill while we're out there, we can. This is so bizarre. But like I said again, it was. I know I definitely put them on Griffin, and I think it was Fruling I put them in, and then never got to a point where I was ready to harvest them. So we're doing it. I know it sounds sad, and I know it's, you know, there'll be as many people out there going, oh, you know, it's that thing of trying something new, doing something for the first time you haven't done before, being excited about doing it. So as many people be like, oh yeah, that's cool, you know, well, I've done this, I've done that, you know. Well, as many people go, oh yeah, whoops, maybe it's not going to stay in there. Oh no, it's stuck on the wheels. I'll just take it with me like that. Oh, I was really hoping that was going to stay there. Okay. I think it's going to just keep dropping off, isn't it? I'll see up there in a minute. If it does drop off again, I don't know what I'll do. Seems to be in there at the moment. Okay, right. So yeah, a couple of trailers. I'll see you up there, and we're going to shake out Money Maker. I say that, you know what's going to happen? I'm going to get next to nothing up there, aren't I? It's going to go either way. I'm going to be pleasantly surprised and get loads, or it's going to be a disaster from start to finish. Hey, if you know me and you know my Let's Plays, bets are on, people. Disaster? Debacle? What other words can we use for it? A fracas? No, fracas a bit more. You can call it a fracas, but we'll see. Harvesters to unload. I'll do them on the way past. The moment of truth is upon us. I've done one full unload from the soybean field, just trying to keep them going. So 77,500. That's gone in up here actually at the old grain mill. Is where the delivery point is for that. And I've done one full unload from each of the harvesters again. And you know, it's saying 80% full on the grain tank. So like I said, I'm not sure how I'm going to keep up with all of this, but I'll do my best. Well, we've got quite a few trees, haven't we? This is going straight from here into the grain mill because I can run oil here, so I'm going to be doing the olives. It's going to be for olive oil. Now I could just use the harvester and take that and unload straight into the grain mill, but it makes more sense, I think. Again, this is all... Wow, the grass has got long up here. To load up the trailers rather than backwards and forwards, I think it makes more sense. That's what I'm telling myself. You may have done this before, you may have already had a crack with this bit of the kit. Got a bit of slip there, haven't we? So, if I disconnect that, lower that down a little bit further to the ground, let's do that so I can get the barrel out anyway. Put that over by the tree in case we need it later. I'll drop it in the long grass and never find it again. So, I don't know what I'm doing. Is there a sweet spot, do you reckon? So I'd imagine you approach the tree. These normally have rubberized sides to them so it doesn't damage the tree bark. Is there a collision for this, or do I just... Okay, there appears to be a collision. Now we unfold. Okay. And then I assume just turn it on. Just lower down the tree, or... Did you see what I just saw bottom right? When I said shake your money maker, 26 litres off of an entire tree. I suppose if you think about a container which is will hold 26 litres, that's probably... Probably should do that. So I should have olives now sat in the yeah, in the tray. Oh dear. I'll keep that the same height. Let's give it a bit of a wobble. Come on now. There we go. I just have to lower it a little bit. Oh, raking in the bucks. This is going to be. I'm thinking. I can't remember what it cost me to put all these in, but this is the sort of thing that would take a few seasons or a few thousand trees to make any sort of profit. There we go. Once the tree gets a little bit of a wobble on, we're good. Haven't even hit 100 there. 100 litres. Oh dear. Did I do the first tree? Did I miss it? I didn't do the first tree. Where's that going in the tree? There we go. Come on, give it a wobble. Why's that one not? Come on, you know you want to. I need all those I can get, come on. Oh. Maybe further in? This one does not want to give up its olives. Maybe it's a slightly different angle? So there we go. Not quite what I was expecting. I said it would go one way or the other, didn't I? It would either be absolutely mint or a disaster. Let's go with disaster. I mean, it's not a disaster. Come on. There we go. Just have to change the angle ever so slightly. Well, 107. 4 trees done. With a load more to go. So, how much do you think we're going to get? I could count all these trees up and work it out. I'm not going to, but we could. I didn't realise it was going to be this tight to there we go. So I guess the thing to check now is, how do we unload these? Does it tip? wouldn't have thought it would tip. That'd be a bit... Well, I don't know, do I suppose? So unload here. Oh, there we go. Oh, at the bottom, there's a little... Don't you open that trap door. Oh yeah, look at that. Well, there we go. We've finally done it. Underwhelming? We'll see what we end up with. I reckon we're going to have like a couple of 1,000 litres, if that. I thought these would be a lot more prolific. I really did. I thought we were going to get an absolute load. I'm thinking the same thing with my grapes now, because I haven't got a lot of grapevines, so we're not going to, we're not going to make our fortune, are we, doing this? But it looks lovely up here, and if you were just doing it, you know, for a small like cottage industry type situation, just supplying a local supplier, or you were making some at your own farm, you're making, or just selling olives or olive oil, or the same with the grapes, making a little bit of wine, then yes, absolutely fine. If you want to do this on an industrial scale, you need a lot. And the trouble is with doing any of these, as you can see, very labour intensive, which I guess in the real world it is too. Well, I'm going to go and unload my harvesters, and then I'm going to come back and carry on wobbling my bits. Oh, dear me. I'm going to bring up the grape stuff as well, so we're good to go on that. And yeah. I probably don't need to hold and unfold that cover all the time, but because it goes right around to the front, in reality, if I was dragging that backwards and forwards around the tree trunk, I would be ripping it to pieces, I guess. No wobble? Come on. Just a little wobble. For me. There we go. Harvest on field 9 is done. It's a record for me. It could have been done a lot quicker, of course, if I was used faster headers and all that kind of stuff. But it's done. So I've got to unload now here up at the old grain mill. Don't know how much it's going to take. Contract is complete. 19,130 litres of soybean left, and actually that works out pretty well, because I'm pretty sure my potato factory, you know, there's the vegetable fat. Well, if you remember, if you watched the episode where I put the potato factory in, to produce vegetable fat, it was it wasn't olives, was it? It was sunflower oil and... mine's blanked. Anyway, or soybean. And I can produce French fries with premium potatoes and vegetable fat. So I can, if I want to now, switch over on that. I think I need to put my premium potatoes, rather than storing, onto distributing. And the same with the vegetable fat. If I put the soybean in there to produce vegetable fat, I might not put all of it in, I might put like 10,000 litres in, and then I can use the premium potatoes and the vegetable fat to make French fries, which could be worth more than the constituent parts. Anyway, yeah, potentially. I've got my I've got to bring up the grape stuff, and because I went down to unload, and it was so close to finishing anyway, I thought, well, you know what, I'm better off staying down there and getting it done. So I'm going to carry on doing these, and I'll get the grape stuff up, and hopefully we'll get... I won't get the grapevines finished in this episode. I want to get the olives definitely finished. Field 9 is definitely finished. But I want, like I say, I want to try out that trailed harvester. So we'll definitely get it up here and we'll get it done. or started before the end of the episode. Oh, slight angle. There we go. Funny how some angles it works really well and others it doesn't then. I've decided to bring up the grape harvesting gear now. I'm about halfway through my olive harvest with devastating results. So I'm hoping I can salvage something. Let's turn the beacons off with this. I don't know how this runs either. So I guess we're going to be looking at unfolding it. Okay, that's got a. Okay, I thought that would swing up behind. How do we? Oh, there we go. Right. Turn it on. Oh, okay. That's straightforward. I tell you what, that's cool. I like that. And of course, we get stuck on the last one. I'm stuck on. There we go. Oh, let's go straight. Let's get lights on. That's a bit better. Oh, lots of shaking going on. We're definitely going to do better off the grapes than we have with the olives. That's for certain. But, oh, I tell you, I like this. Quite lined up. Nope. There we go. I think this only holds about 2,500 litres or something like that. So I'll go up and down my strips. Yeah, I'm gonna get back to doing the olives. I wanted to just give this a go. Like I said, I wanted to give it a go before we finished anyway, but I thought I was getting so disheartened with the olives. And I thought if I come on here and this is just as bad, oh, it's time to have a little cry. Once I get past this little bit here where the static sawmill, stationary sawmill is, I'll be able to just go straight up and down the strips. That's why I laid them out the way I did. There's a little track in between. And then we'll, all the grapes will go through the grape processing, and then I can chug away then and leave that running. I'm under no illusions. I'm not going to get like 50, 60, 70,000 litres. It's going to be a few thousand litres. But again, it will keep my production running for a little while. And I've still got the grape orchards that I'll be running the entire time. The separate ones, they will continue to chug away. This is a nice bit of kit. It's a nice pack. like I said, it's in. Have I already done this one? Yeah. It's in the description. Is it Grapevine Production? I can't remember what it's called now. Off the top of my head. Just bear with me a second. I can find out jolly quickly. He says. Vineyard Pack Crossplay. That was it. The Vineyard Pack Crossplay by SMI modding team, ETA, Lamoshwas and EdoMod. That's all the equipment, and then all the factories and machinery and stuff I'm using is the Great Production Pack by Chen Ben. So, if you fancy giving any of this a go, this is definitely a cheaper alternative. I mean, this is to buy 110 grand, I think, for the trailed one, and I think to buy self-propelled is 250. I think. Which ones have I done already? First two. So yeah, so now it's going to be a bit of both, really. I'll do a little bit of the grapes, a little bit of the olives. We'll get all these done. Oh, I need to collect on my soybean. Well, I'm going to say it right now, not what I was hoping for. When I consider the time put in, the cost of the trees, there was a little bit of fertiliser and then there's the mulcher that I leased and that kind of stuff. I'm not even going to clear 1,500 litres. Now it could be something I did, it could be something because I did the grass work, but that being said, if you go around the base of all the trees, they're all clear, they've all got the bit that needs to be mulched. The shaker is doing its shaking and whatever was on the tree is coming off the tree. How much those processes affect the yield potential, because when I come up to here all it keeps showing me is field info for grass. It doesn't give me any information for the trees whatsoever. I don't know if they're supposed to yield like that. I honestly don't know, but would I do them again like this, or would I do them on vines like the grapes? I would do them on vines like the grapes. Like I say, I wanted to try out this. I wanted to try out the shaker. I'm just thinking as well, is that going to be alright to... Yeah, it might be okay. I'm going to unload this straight into the mill because that's not going to work, is it? We've only got 1,000 litres in there, so why is that so horrendously unstable? I know there's a lot of weight up front, I suppose that's why, but that's not a lot of weight up front. Question is, can I get this up and onto here without it tipping? Come on. Maybe. Yeah, as it turns out, the grapes are doing way better, which is good, really. It needs to. Let's drop that down. Let's do that. And that. Because there was the lease of the front load of the front load of forks as well. I've lost money on this whole thing. I've done 2 loads of grapes already, so we've got 5,000 litres. I'm going to unload this straight away because the way it's going, we're going to fill up at least 1 trailer, if not more, with grapes. So I thought it just makes more sense to get this up there. Oh, of course, and then there was this as well. This was 2,000 something for the barrel of hydraulic oil. So this is going to be it's a long-term prospect project type situation potentially. Yeah, I've got all that flour there as well. I need to remove that as well. But 1,285 litres from all of that. That doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Like I said, I don't think the yield's supposed to be like that. Like I say, it could be something I did wrong, but if it is supposed to be like that, it's just not worth the time and the effort, in all honesty. I've run out of grapes. Well, we've got some more, so we don't have to worry about that too much. So where were we at? Oh, here we go. So olive oil, 2 to 1. So I'm going to lose half of that anyway. I won't even get a full pallet of olive oil. You've got to be kidding me. Ah, dearie me. Well, let's activate it anyway. Let's get half a pallet. What was the point? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put it on selling, because on the hour, whatever's there, it'll just go. Got a bit of flour to get rid of. I mean, I'm making money on other productions. That's, you know, that's the bonus, I guess, from all that. I'm going to hook this back up. I'm going to carry on with the grapes. And I will see you once the grapes are done. It's 3:45. Because we're behind the trees, now the sun's going behind the trees, we are going to start to lose the light here, but I've still got a bit of light on the vines, so I'll get that done. Actually, I need to get that lorry down as well. I'm going to get some of that soybean into my potato production, so we can get some vegetable fat being produced. Oh dear. I guess what I want to do, what I might do is it's difficult to, I suppose I could count up the row, how many of trees I've got in each one, and on my test map do it without any grass around it, do it on a plain flat bit of ground, and see if it yields exactly the same, just to double check, again for my own, you know, because I'm curious to see whether it was something I did wrong by planting the seeding grass around it, which is entirely possible, of course it is. I'm liking the way the trailed grape harvester unloads. You just back up. You don't have to press anything either. You just back up. I'm assuming there's sensors, and as you get close to the trailer, it just automatically lifts and tips. So happy days. Because this is going on to do grape must, leatherette, bestie belts, bestie shoes. So what we've lost on the olives, we'll make from the grapes. So. Oh dear. Okay, I'm all done. Harvest is done. I have, while everything's been going on off camera, mulched my cornfield. That needs to be limed to get the pH level back up. I'm not sure, like I say, I'm probably not going to put wheat or barley in that, so I might put a cover crop in that. That's probably not a bad idea. But I've put in, I think, just over 9,000, maybe 10,000 litres into our processing. I've got a premium potatoes, I've got a starch, and what I've done here is I've put the premium potatoes and vegetable fat on distributing, which should keep them on site because they can't distribute anywhere else. So if I put them on storing, the pallets will appear. Starch can store because we can sell that. So then what I've done is the soybean that's gone in, will produce, yeah, 10,000 litres, will produce vegetable fat at a 2-to-1, so I'll get about 5,000 litres of vegetable fat. And I've now put on the French fry production, which is taking the potatoes and the vegetable fat to make French fries. So that will chug away now, doing its thing. That will need to be put into storage, which I'll do momentarily. But the next step then, having put my olive oil production into full swing, it's now the turn of the grape. So we'll put the grapes in, and I can leave this production running, because what I've been doing, as I've only been getting a little bit from, actually I could probably do moving that, as I've only been getting a little bit every few days from the little grape orchards I had at front of house. This production runs, then I turn it off, then it runs, then I turn it off, then it runs, then I turn it off. Well, I won't have to now, because I've got, how much did that just say, 12,000 litres was it? 12,882. So we'll get that in. We'll get that in. Get that turned back on. Do I want to do some raisins? I don't. High amount of cycles per month, so we could get some quite quickly. Is it worth me running both? Oh, you know what? Let's run them both. Why not? But then the recipe on that one is a 1-to-1, whereas that's a 5. So I guess it will all balance itself out. We'll get some raisins. We'll get some pallets of everything. Why not? Let's get everything chugging away. So in conclusion, grapevines for just doing grape juice. If you're doing a regular grape processing unit, it works fine. It's all absolutely great. This whole grape production pack is brilliant, and using that vineyard pack as well. Yeah, that trailed grape harvester, I think it's fantastic. I absolutely love that. So I'm going to put these trailers back. The olives, like I say, I'm not sure. I might do a test off camera on my test map. But now we've got the grape processing, we've got the little fertiliser production, we've got our spinnery, we've got our tailor, all part of that grape processing pack. We're producing a whole load of stuff, and we're making a load of money doing it. I say a load of, well, we are actually. When we get the shoes and we get the belts all being produced, it all works out quite well. So all that's left for me to do now, I collected on the contract for the for Field 9, is again what I might do off camera between now and the next episode. I might, because there are a couple of sugar beet contracts. I might pick up a sugar beet contract. There's one of those paid out about 39 grand, and I might get some sugar beet left over. So that worked really well as well. Once I knocked that down to 6 miles an hour and it ran at a more, I say reasonable, I could have run it at 10 miles an hour, but I wasn't sure the harvesters would run them. So I guess the next phase would be selling these headers and trailers and picking up 2 more of those. But we're almost out the end of this year's harvest season now, so there's not really much left to do until I go into the next year. And realistically, looking at what I've done, what I've achieved and where we've got to, the next thing, like I said I was going to do, was, now I've got all the various different products, was have a go at that pig food mixer inside the building and get some pigs. Our sheep are producing. We haven't had a full fabric pallet yet. But yeah, I feel like I've achieved a lot. That rule of thumb, have I left it in a better position than it was in when I arrived? Absolutely. We've got some more modern machinery, we've got some new processes, we've got some animals. We cleared some of the yard, rightly or wrongly. Some people were very anti it. Some people, if you've got a yard like this with loads and loads of buildings and you're not using 50% of them, if you can get rid of them, demolish them, make a bit of money, why not? It makes sense, I think. I'm going to move that cedar only because I want to put the headers and harvesters next to each other, which is, I haven't left that in the best possible position really. So just cut that one. I could probably do a little bit of routine maintenance on all of these actually. So what I might do is one at a time take them over to the tool. Well, we've got the workshop and we've got the ramps, but we got there. We got to do the olive orchard with the shakers. We shook our money makers because we had, well, I suppose the grape harvester was shaking as well. And yeah, I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you maybe have learned something from it. I don't know. If you have, please give us a like. If you don't subscribe yet, please do. If you want to leave a comment, feel free. And if you want to share this video, then please be my guest. Whatever you should choose to do. Thanks for watching.